Hello and welcome to the final CITV episode of the year. This is my opportunity to wish you, your family and close friends happy holidays from all of us here at Centennial Investments. If you're an investor, I would like to thank you for your continued support, and I look forward to presenting you with 3 magnificent urban luxury townhomes sometime in March. If you are an observer, why don't you come and join us on the next project, which I'll be announcing sometime in the new year. Here at the project site, we are now in the penultimate phases, and as I talk to you today, the cabinetry is being delivered. Various trades are here hanging and laying the beautiful tiling, painting primer to the middle unit, finishing off the electrics and making ready to hang doors and finish the stairs, and generally heading north towards the finish line. Let's not forget the plumbing. We are laying the drainage as I speak right now, and the balcony railings have just turned up as well. So come with me, let me show you what we have done and where we are so far. Last episode I left you with the bathroom tiling in progress, well, all the bathrooms in fact. So in this episode I will bring you as current as I can before the cut-off for this month's video. Here the tile installer is putting thin set mortar on the back of a tile prior to placing it on the wall. Obviously it's a 2-person job. But even so, it's still a tricky event. Easy as she goes. This tile installer is preparing the floors and walls in bathrooms and showers to accept tile. Meanwhile, in adjoining rooms, other craftsmen are cutting, shaping, drilling holes in the ceramic tiles to give to their colleagues, who will then install them on the walls and the floors. It's a constant beehive of activity and organisation, with strategy being the key element here. I can only think I was getting in everyone's way sticking a camera in their collective faces, but hey ho. So I mentioned before about getting the tiles up to the roof deck. In fact, all the tiles, whether it's the roof deck or the bathroom floors or shower walls, all has to be done manually. And hats off to the gentleman for climbing the temporary stairs with this weighty tile on his back. Hold on a minute, that's a young lady. Flipping hell. Everywhere you look, tilers are cutting, putting mortar on tile and fitting them to the wall. But how do they get them straight, you may ask? Well, the answer is laser. The crosshairs on the wall give them the guideline for lining them up perfectly straight. However, you still have got to get the tile on the wall. And again, a difficult job is made to look very easy by skillful craftspeople. Notice the gender correctness, very appropriate, as I just saw a petite young lady carrying a heavy tile up 3 flights of stairs. The tiler is using tile chips to place underneath the very heavy tile as he places it on the wall, and to stop it moving whilst the mortar is setting. Then there is laying mortar for the shower floor. No prefab shower tray here, my friends, just tradespeople who know their stuff, that can slope the shower floor from all angles to run water into the drains. Here are the tiles for the shower floor, and I will show you shortly what they look like tiled in using thin set mortar. This tiler is laying 4 foot by 2 foot non-slip tiles on top of a level pre-mortared floor. The yellow spacers keep the tiles equally separated, so when set, a colour matched non-sanded grout will be used to fill in between the tiles, making them look almost seamless, the same as the roof deck tiling. The tiler uses a spirit level to keep the floor level, as a rubber hammer is used to tap the tile into the thin set mortar which is underneath. And here is a great example of before and after. Here are some partially finished bathrooms and showers. Notice how the tiles have been perfectly cut so that the shower faucets and handles can fit without any seam showing. That's because they are fashioned here on site by skilled tilers who deal only in luxury installs. I will show you over the next few episodes the finished tiling, and I know you will find it spectacular. As we get nearer to the end of the project, deliveries to the townhome site becomes a daily occurrence, and today we are taking delivery of the roof deck tile. This stuff is bloody heavy, and the appropriate heavy lifting machinery is necessary to get the tile offloaded from the truck and to distribute it around the site. Nevertheless, these non-slip ceramic tiles measuring 4 foot by 2 foot still has to get up to the roof, and sadly for our site workers, this has to be done by hand, and there is 86 of them. Tiles, that is, not workers. This craftsman is setting the angle for the slope so rainwater will run into the linear drain that will be created. He is placing a wooden frame on top of some mortar using a spirit level to create the right angle for the slope, which is usually 1/4 inch per foot. Frames in place, a roof tile mortar made of high strength masonry cement and sand will be poured to create the slope bed for the ceramic tiles to sit on. And this is how the linear drain is created. Parallel wooden frames will hold the mortar like a dam either side, and one set will carry rainwater away into the drain pipes that are located inside the walls of the building and taken down to the drainage at ground level. More about that later on in this episode. This craftsman is putting a synthetic underlayment to make sure the mortar, in layman's terms, sticks to the roof. Now he is setting the wooden frame to make sure that when the mortar is poured, it slopes into the linear drain. Bloody high up, isn't it? Here some sections of the roof have the mortar poured and it's waiting to cure, which takes typically 24 hours. Once all the sections are poured, we can start laying the tiles. You can see that in all directions the mortar is sloping towards the linear drain, and the linear drain itself is sloping away to the edge of the building and into the drainage pipes. Here the tile is being cut and laid using 1/32 of an inch orange spacers. These are the little plastic wedges that keep the tiles equally separated from each other, so we can later on use colour match non-sandy grout to give that seamless tile look. The tile is now laid and the tilers are removing the spacers, which is that clicking noise that you can hear, and I think you can agree the result is outstanding. And here is the linear drain now tiled, so rainwater will fall into the linear opening and into the drain. Pretty smart looking, eh? And now you all know as much as me. I will of course show you the finished roof deck tiles of all the townhomes over the next few episodes. Here come the balconies. As I said to you at the top of the episode, the balconies have been delivered and they are now on site. 14 balconies, 4 each for the end units and 6 for the middle. All the balconies were manufactured off site and have been brought here for installation. No cranes needed here. The fact of the matter is they started installing the balconies the same day, and it's going to take about a week to put all 14 balconies securely in place. Bolted into the concrete with 3" by 3" 1/4" steel bolts, these balconies will stand the test of time over numerous decades. These balconies are beautifully powder coated in black, real quality, and they have really changed the aesthetic of our building. And next episode I'll give you a complete aerial tour of these balconies in situ. Now here is today's homework. Please fetch a pen or pencil and a piece of paper and study the above diagram, as I'm going to explain to you how a storm drainage system works. I will be testing you at the end of this video to make sure that you understand everything, or I can show you in action how this is built. I will leave it to you to vote. Those in favour of video reference, shout out now. Get on with it, Stern. Okay, understood. Florida has intense rainfall. Last year in Delray alone we had 113.61 inches. 52.66 inches above normal, so we have to have a method of moving the water off the townhome roofs and also the surrounding area away from the building. The townhome roofs are built at a pitch so the rainwater flows into roof drains, and in the case of the roof decks, a linear drain, as shown here. Vertical pipes called downspouts, hidden in the building's walls, carry the water down into the storm drains located on the ground, which will carry the water away to a drainage pit for absorption into the ground. First order of the day is to mark out with a red spray paint where the stormwater pipes are going to be located, and then build the trench. This trench will eventually be the length of the entire building that faces southeast 2nd Street. 3 additional trenches will be dug to surround the whole building. So what's going to go in this trench? Let me show you. Here comes the delivery of the perforated pipes. These pipes have small holes along their entire length and allow water to seep slowly into the surrounding soil in the trench, also known as the drainage field. These large sky blue objects are called catch basins. They will be buried in the trench at a precise height and will collect water from the downspouts or surface runoff water before it enters the perforated pipes, which I just showed you. These pipes, by the way, are also known as stormwater pipes. The catch basin also includes a debris trap at the neck top to prevent clogging. These can be cleaned out from ground level when needed. This is the trench rock, or gravel as I like to call it, which has 3 purposes really. Filtration, preventing the soil and debris from clogging the perforated pipes. Stability, for holding the perforated pipes in place. And drainage, which allows the water to flow freely while dispersing it into the surrounding soil. This is the geotextile fabric, a permeable fabric placed between the gravel bed and the soil. It's also actually known as felt. But anyway, this felt prevents fine soil particles from entering and clogging the perforated pipes. And these are the drain covers, which sit on top of the catch basins. No need for explanation here, I hope. So let's see how this all comes together. As with everything, it all starts with a plan. Here the drainage experts are setting the height of the catch basin in the trench by using laser. I asked Daniel, the owner of Tungsten Plumbing, why they use felt at this early stage of the procedure.
Yard drains, the bottoms of the yard drains are perforated. So
Right.
It just allows whatever residual water is in there has somewhere to go.
Then he explained about mosquitoes.
Like a hostel for mosquitoes. Standing
right.
water in Florida equals mosquitoes. They have a way for all that water to drain out. You don't get, and then it could stink too after time.
Really?
Yeah, if you get a couple of dead vegetables in there with it.
So how many of these trenches do you have to do? Oh, quite a lot of them, I'd imagine.
Yeah, pretty much going to go around the whole building. This will go from like here to the, say, the dumpster.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick up another one. There's 3 separate systems.
Yeah.
So this one will go to the dumpster. The one starts behind the pool, kind of goes across the 2 driveways. Then we skip over the pool and kind of go this way and this way. This is the biggest one of them.
So getting the height right is very important, isn't it?
Critical. Critical.
Yeah.
The height is critical. Because it has to work with your grade. You know? It would look dumb if, you know, if you have the driveway and you have grass and then you have this cast iron hub that's 3 inches too high.
Yeah. So I stopped annoying the shit out of Daniel and let him get on with his job in hand.
First one's the hardest.
Yeah. Now, do we want to go like dirt around it here? Level, set, right height,
Now the exact height of the catch basin has been established. We can now continue on. I say we. They can continue on to enlarge the trench and put in further catch basins. The following day I returned to the site to annoy the hell out of Daniel once more by sticking a camera in his face. As you can see, the trench has indeed been extended and more perforated pipes have been laid and catch basins put in place. From a slightly elevated view, and no, I didn't use my drone as it was too blustery, so I was standing on our newly factored balcony that faces Southeast 2nd Street. You can see that the trench and all the components coming together here. Firstly, you can see the felt has been laid directly into the trench and the gravel laid on top. The felt is overlapping the trench and will wrap around the perforated pipes. More gravel will be added for stability and then the trench will be backfilled. The stability, filtration and drainage is perfectly in harmony. Like a proud father, Daniel here is inspecting his work. Here more gravel is being introduced to the trench before the felt is wrapped around the perforated pipes and more gravel is added on top. To recap, rainwater is taken off the roof by downspouts, underground pipes funnel the water away from the building to the catch basin, which feeds the perforated pipes, and the water is then distributed through the holes in these pipes, filtered through the felt and gravel and dispersed and absorbed into the ground, which you now know as a soakaway pit. So, pardon the pun, I will fill you in more next episode, but by and large this project will be finished and more importantly, fully operational. So what is this delicious soup that they are mixing? Let me take you back to the beginning and show you why they are making this wonderful concoction. Last month we showed you workers scraping the floor clean in preparation for laying down a cement based, or is it concrete based, that old argument again, self-levelling underlayment. It is absolutely essential that the floors are scraped and swept clean of any dust or residue so that the underlayment can adhere smoothly when it's spread out on the floor, which I'm going to show you in a minute. The green colour on the floor is because of the lime content that was in the concrete slab when we were building out the shell. I think it looks quite nice actually, obviously not for a luxury townhome. As you can imagine, this is a painstaking job, but one that's got to be done diligently and properly, And you can appreciate that this is quite a task over 10,000 square feet of flooring. But as you can see, the guys here have done a fantastic job. Remember, it's not just the first floor, which is what we call the ground floor in the UK, but anyway, that aside, that has to be taken care of. But you have 2 other floors per townhome that also require the same attention. So I'm appreciative to all the guys that took care of this part of the procedure. And this is the bag of magic, or rather 300 of them, that's going to be mixed. 5 US quarts of water per 50-pound bag, which is what you see here, will do the trick. It's a little bit messy, so don't try it at home. And here is the weapon that's going to mix this all together. So the first order of play is to clean out the buckets to make sure there's no impurities in the water before it's mixed with the underlayment. Then to run a hose up 2 flights of stairs, and then to get the buckets filled.
Okay.
Then some poor bastard has to go up and down the stairs with heavy buckets of water. There but for the grace. Okay, let's cut these puppies open. Now let the fun begin. Come on, be honest. This is very therapeutic to watch. As I said, don't try this at home. And this dust and powder, or whatever it is, really screwed up my camera lens. I think we're ready to pour now, don't you? Time to get out of the way, methinks. And there we go. Boy, I wanted to do that myself. Again, I say this all the time, but this looks really simple, but it isn't. Craftsmen like my new friend, unfortunately with no name, make it look so easy, but it just takes years and years of practice to do this skill effortlessly. And while he's spreading, they're making up another brew. The gentleman here, and I have to apologise because I spent a very enjoyable couple of hours with him a few weekends ago, and I've forgotten his name. But in any event, he's using a special trowel to drag what looks like a slurry across the floor at a certain height, which, when dried in an hour's time and cures overnight, will leave the underlayment all at one level across the whole surface of the floor. Clever stuff, eh? The second and third floor landings have to be taped up with a lip to prevent the slurry spilling onto the first floor, which you can appreciate could be a bit of a devil to clean up. Anyway, like me, I'm sure you can't wait to see what this looks like when it's dry. So let's start with the second floor that we saw just now. And this is the first floor of the end townhouse, which faces the alley on Osceola Park Lane. The guys did a wonderful job with the prep, and if you're watching, I'd just like to say thank you. So now it looks like we're ready to install the luxury vinyl tile planks, so let me take you on that journey. And here they are, all stacked like little soldiers ready to be deployed. These beautiful vinyl planks float on top of the underlayment and are locked together in a clever tongue and groove connection system. And as you can see, when they are all fitted together across a large floor area, the result is magnificent. The reverse side of these planks is the acoustic absorbing heat retaining padding. Great underfoot, especially barefoot. Having seen this firsthand, let me assure you, this is luxury quality flooring. Two of the most important pieces of equipment on the site right now, the sliding table saw and the static table saw. You will see why in a minute. So, as you're about to see, this is a symphony of measuring, cutting, joining, laying, hammering to create the perfect luxury flooring our new townhome owners will quite rightly expect. Each plank has to be snugly fitted together using the tongue and groove system which I explained earlier. All simple when you're in the straight line, but the minute you come to the edges of a room, fitting it around corners, and as I'm going to show you in a minute, the stairs, attention to detail is critical. I wasn't joking about the table saws, was I? While watching these guys in action, I have to be truly honest with you and was fearful for their fingers, and I certainly didn't want to catch something horrific on video that of course may have gone viral and widened our customer outreach. But instead of that, you can help out by pressing the subscribe and reminder bell below so you won't miss one tiny detail as we head to the climax of this project. Go on, press them. Oh, and as you can see, the third most important piece of equipment on the site with regards to the flooring is the hand jigsaw, which, as you can see in the hands of the experts, is a very useful tool. In my hands, not so much. The hive of activity around these table saws, and they seem to be becoming my focus of obsession at the moment, is because the installers are not only cutting round corners, literally, but are also wrapping the floors around the stair landings. And as you will witness yourself, this is a very precise job, so the cutting has to be just right. The guys have done a fantastic job, and I know I've said it earlier, but seeing it in the flesh is something else. And next episode, which will be January 2025, would you believe, I will show you the great reveal of the flooring. You got to be fit on this job. All the planks have to be brought up the stairs and all the trash taken down. I did offer to help. So you may ask yourself, and if you didn't, I'll help you out here, how do you keep the floors clean once they've been installed, considering you have a bunch of workers and installers, electricians, carpenters, painters, etc., running all over the townhomes? Well, the answer is Patriot. This is a heavy duty paper that's been used in the industry for years, and here it is, laid down over one of our finished floors, the middle unit to be precise, and as you can see, it is keeping the flooring nice and safe. The eagerly anticipated arrival of the kitchen and bathroom cabinetry has arrived. Oh, for God's sake, please mind that very low hanging cable and telephone wire. That could be expensive. Well done, young man. That's really appreciated. It's bloody close though. Okay, that's it. Stop there. Come on, let's get this puppy open. This is one of 3 deliveries that we're going to get over the next few days, and the guys here are offloading very expensive Italian handmade cabinetry, and I'm sure that the buyers of these beautiful townhomes are going to be really impressed with the cabinetry quality and finishes. The delivery team have to put the right cabinetry in the right rooms in the correct unit, and that also means having to store the cabinetry ready to be installed over the next few weeks on different floor levels. Again, this all has to be carried upstairs by hand. This cabinetry is sitting in the second floor bedroom of the middle unit and will be installed over the next several weeks. In fact, wherever you look, all over the Townhomes project, there is kitchen and bathroom furniture. So the assembly and construction of this beautiful Italian handmade kitchen, bathroom and club room furniture begins. This process in the hands of these wonderful craftsmen will take 3 weeks to complete. So let me take you on the journey.
I'm Michael. I work for Hans Food installing cabinets, vanities, and all that stuff.
And what are you doing here today? I mean, you're obviously putting the
kitchen together in one of the units.
How long will this take you for the whole project?
All 3 units is about 3 weeks.
3 weeks to do everything.
3 weeks.
Yeah. Is everything on site now? You still got more deliveries?
There's still an appliance delivery to come.
Oh, apart from the appliance. Oh, so you're going to install the appliances as well?
They're going to be set in place then.
Okay, so you have to work around the appliances. Okay, I understand. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
A few things to show you quickly before we conclude this episode. The last CITV edition of the year, and I think you'll agree that it's been a bumper edition indeed. These guys are balancing 2 floors up, finishing off the drywall on the townhome lift shafts. It amazes me that they balance on a square piece of plywood not more than 1/4 of an inch thick. Certainly something I wouldn't volunteer for. All the backfills that I showed you being constructed last episode are now complete and have been inspected and passed by the city. I still haven't managed to capture any video of the stair manufacturers powder coating the stair stringers. I believe they're coming in on a Sunday at around midnight just to escape me putting a camera in their face. These guys are putting up the last bit of drywall in the garage. Actually, it will be both end units because they couldn't do this until the elevator infrastructure, electrics, construction, etc. was completed. These are the very last pieces of drywall to be hung in the townhome project. While you watch the closing stages of this episode, can I ask you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the reminder bell so you get to see the final few months of construction on these wonderful townhomes. And the YouTube algorithm allows us to show more people our construction prowess. So the final few planks have to be carried tirelessly up the stairs, the brilliant lady plasterer finishes the imperfections, and the ground is prepared slowly but surely for the landscaping that is yet to come. So it is always a pleasure when one or some of our investor partners come into town to take a look at where their hard-earned money is deployed. And as always, I take the opportunity to ask their opinion on what they have seen. So here is Sheila and Norman Weinstock with their unfettered observations on the project they encountered. Hi, we're here with Norman and Sheila Weinstock. They're investors in our property here in the project at Delray Beach. And this is the first time they've obviously seen it in the flesh. So I'm going to ask them. I'm going to ask Sheila first. The chief Weinstock in the family.
Well, yes, sometimes.
Yeah. Tell me what your impressions are about it, your honest and true impressions.
My honest and true impression is I'm just amazed at the not only the hugeness here, but of the details that were thought when this was being put together, and how easy living it will be, and how it has advantages. And I think one of the biggest things I've noticed is how bright and light it is in every room that we've been to. Which makes a big difference, I feel, especially in a more of a high, the vegetation that's high and so forth and so on. So I think it's really going to be terrific for whoever decides to buy it.
Thank you. And Norman, your impressions, if Sheila's left you anything to say, that is.
Oh, first of all, I've seen all the videos, every video that you've made, which have been very impressive to see the level of detail that you've gone into. And after seeing the final project, it exceeded my expectations. It's certainly a beautiful setup. I love the fourth floor, the club level floor, and how much room there is inside and outside. It gives quality living in a quality town, and it certainly, I think, the details and the quality of the details that have gone into building this has been unbelievable. So hopefully we'll have the last 2 units sold very quickly, and we'll figure out what our next project should be.
Yes, absolutely. So I just want to say thank you for both of you for coming down. I know you were here for, I think it was your grandson's graduation, so congratulations on that and everything else. And now we're going to do the time on the tradition that anybody that's associated with me knows we're going to eat. So let's go and have lunch.
I'll eat and drink to that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Just wanted to take the opportunity from me and Rocky here to thank you for your support and to wish you and your family a wonderful and happy holiday. I look forward to speaking with you next month. Roll the credits.